everybody, it's Jenny here. Today I am going to be doing my April TBR, which is ridiculously long. It is so big. I've never had a TBR list this big, unless my March TBR reading list was that big, which I don't think it was. I think that it was 7 books long, and this one I have 11 books that I really want to read this month. I probably won't get to them all, but I'm gonna try because I'm on spring break, and that means I have loads of time to read. So yeah, once again, you know the drill. I apologize for any background noise you might hear. I don't exactly know how to edit my videos as well as I'd like to, so if there was a really weird noise, I wouldn't really be able to edit it out. So yeah, just if you do hear one, that's what it is. We're not about to get killed. I'm not about to get killed right on camera. But, yeah, so I have 11 books here that, all of them are books that I'd really like to read this month. They all interest me in a way, so I'll try, but, I mean, I'm not going to give full synopsises. I'm just going to give you a basic overview, because if I gave you full synopsis for all 11 of these books, we'd be here forever. So, the first, well, actually, this is in no particular order. I'm just listing them as they're stacked right here. I'm sorry, I keep fiddling with my hair. It's just it's a thing that I do. Yeah. So, yeah, I never leave my hair alone, honestly. I never realized I had a picture of the author in here. So yeah, the first book that I picked up and decided I'm going to read this in April was Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, which, again, I just said I know that I said the first book, but no. This isn't in a particular order, it's just, like, in the list, as I've probably said 3 times already. And this is basically about a girl named Mare, who is of the Red Bloods, and they are considered peasants as compared to the Silver Bloods. And, but she steals what she can to help her family survive, and she discovers an ability she didn't know she had, but that should be impossible since her blood is red. And the king doesn't like this, so he forces her into a role of the lost silver princess and betroths her to one of his own sons, and she is drawn further into the silver world, and, you know, prince against prince, her against her own self, all that. And I am pretty sure I read a chapter in this. Yeah, I read a chapter, and I rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars so far, because if I have a giant stack of books that I want to read and I can't decide which one I want to read, I read a chapter from each one and then rate it, and then I put them in stacks depending on how much I rated them. Yeah, that's probably way too much work, but yeah. So I rated this 3.5 out of 5 stars. The first chapter was really good. I have a feeling I'm really going to like this book because I've heard nothing but great things about this, so it'll probably be really good. We'll just see when I get to it. My hair is so awkward today, I'm sorry. So yeah, Red Queen. And then this was actually supposed to be on my March TBR, which it was in the video. And I read 3 chapters into it, 25 pages into it, and I just never picked it back up again. But it's really, I really, really liked it so far. I'm pretty sure I didn't rate this one because I just put really like. So, in its origin by Jessica Khoury. And basically, it's about this girl living in the jungle. Her name is Pia, and she's immortal. She lives with these group of scientists that are trying to start a new race, that'll bring an end to death, and she was bred for immortality, and she's in a secret compound hidden in the Amazon rainforest, and they're beginning to challenge her in sort of ways that she isn't liking, and her goal, they've always made her goal to carry on their work, like to breed more immortals, and she's always eager to fill their expectations, but it says in the description that she finds a hole in the impenetrable fence, and she is free in the jungle for the first time in her life, and she ends up meeting a boy from a nearby village. And she keeps sneaking out to meet him, and she soon discovers that they when they fall in love, they piece together the truth about her origin, and I don't think she ends up really liking it, and she, fights back. So far it's been really good. I can't wait to read it. I really liked Jessica Khoury's first book that I read, which was Kalahari. I loved that. I loved it. So yeah, I really did like that. Hoping to read that really soon. Okay, let me just read the synopsis on this real quick so I know what to say. Okay, I actually got this book maybe 2 years ago from one of my best friends. She sent it to me for my birthday along with Match. This was a book she wanted me to read, and I've actually just never even picked it up to read until now. And that is Infinity by Sherilyn Kenyon. It's basically about this normal guy. He thinks he knows everything about the world around him, but he is saved by a mysterious warrior, and then he's sucked into the realm of like dark hunters, like immortal vampires, vampire slayers, and that he learns that the human world is only a veil for a much larger and more dangerous one, like captain of the football team is a werewolf, and the girl he has a crush on goes out at night to stake the undead. Yeah, and yeah, so apparently his fellow students, his peers, are turning into flesh-eating zombies, and he's next on the menu. So yeah, so this sounds kind of interesting, kind of like a monster hunting novel. Kind of reminds me of the Shadowhunters a little bit, the Mortal Instruments, but it sounds interesting. It kind of has like a casual slang tone in the synopsis. This is already 7 minutes. I've only gone through 3 books. I'm so slow. Oh my god. So yeah, Infinity. I've never actually read the first chapter of that because it hasn't been on my TBR list until now, but I'll probably end up doing the chapter reading. Actually, I just had a brilliant idea. Maybe I'll make like a time lapse of me reading each one and rating it. And I just had a really good book idea. Good job, Jenna. Actually, I did pick this one up. This was on my March TBR list too. I'm carrying a lot of books from my March TBR over to my April one that I didn't get to read. And that one is The Cage by Megan Shepherd. This is about a girl who, she wakes up in a desert, and she doesn't know who put her there. She explores, she finds a mix of environments, tundra next to desert, farm next to jungle, and this town cobbled together from different cultures and time periods, and they're being watched by these black windows, and then she finds out she's not alone. There's different kinds of people ranging from models, tattooed smugglers, geniuses, army brat. They don't have a clue what happened, but they all have secrets. And then their jailer appears. His name is Cassian, and their abductors aren't from Earth. They have taken 5 teenagers to an otherworldly zoo where the exhibits are human. So an attraction develops between Cora and Cassian, and she realizes that it's her best chance to leave. Might be in the arms of her own jailer. But that would have to mean leaving the others behind, so she can't decide whether to save herself or her companions, and what world lies beyond the cage. And this sounds really good. The first chapter starts out with her in the cage. Yeah, I put this down as really, like, this was right in there with Origin, but, so yeah, The Cage by Megan Shepherd. I'm pretty sure that has 1 sequel so far, so, and then, this book I actually did read a chapter of too. I've been in a really big Alice in Wonderland mood. I watched Through the Looking Glass on Netflix. I bought the classic Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and then I found this spin-off, and it looks really interesting. And this is Splintered by A.G. Howard. Her name's Alyssa Gardner, and she hears the thoughts of plants and insects. She hides her delusions because she knows her fate will end up like her mother, who was in an institution. She's actually the great-great-great-granddaughter of Alice Little from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So yeah, perhaps she's not mad, and perhaps Carol's stories aren't as whimsical as they first seem. And then, as you can see, I already did start this a little bit. I am 19 pages in. It's really interesting. She's kind of like a tomboy, and it shows over time as she develops that she starts discovering the thing that her mom and grandmother and all the people before that had, like the thoughts of insects and bugs, and it sounds so interesting. I can't wait. And then I've seen this book a lot. Everybody has it. I'm really starting to think I should just pick it up and just get it over with. But yeah. And that is Selection by Kira Cass. It's about the 35 girls. The selection is the opportunity to be swept up in a world of glittering gowns and priceless jewels, and to live in a palace and compete for the heart of the prince. America Singer is her name, and she does not want to be in the selection. She believes it's a nightmare, and it means turning her back on a secret love that she already has back at home. But he's in a class below her, and she doesn't want to leave home to enter a competition for like a crown that she doesn't even want. But then she ends up meeting the prince, and she begins to realize that the life she's always dreamed of may not compare to the future she never imagined. So we all know where this is going. She's gonna end up getting selected, but I'll read it anyway. I mean, a little bit of prequel to the sequels can't hurt. So it's not even a prequel, it's just the first book, but I already know what's gonna happen. You can just tell because I know that has I know that it has a lot of sequels. I think it has 4 books in there. This book I have not even picked up since I bought it. And I'm pretty sure it's because I glanced through it and all the names are super hard to pronounce. So like Admiral Axley Creus, Dr. Eusta Matthias, Canskrian, Agatha Librian, Roma Grace, Kansas City. Yeah, it sounds confusing. But that's Zodiac by Romina Russell, and I'm gonna have a moment of shame. I bought this for the cover. The cover's so pretty, and I'm a little bit obsessed with the Zodiac stuff, so, like, I'm a Taurus, and all of my, horoscopes are always on point, and part of me is really obsessed with the stars and constellations, but this sounded kind of interesting. It kind of, like, in a galaxy where your sign determines which planet you call home. It centers on the character Ro, who's the young guardian of Cancer. She must find a way to unite the divided houses of Zodiac before the ancient evil destroys them all. And so yeah, she's trying to convince 12 Zodiac houses to unite as one to defeat this ancient form of evil. And I don't know, I just really love some of the pictures in this book. I don't even know how to express this right now, but this is already 13 minutes and 30 seconds, and I still have 4 books to review, so I'm just gonna try to fly through this. And then this next book is one that I actually just had in my March book haul, and that is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which is about this Iborg named Cinder. Yes, Cinder, obviously. She is a mechanic in New Beijing because, she's like a robot. And her great mechanical skills catch the eye of the prince, Kai, I think his name is. Yes. And so he asks her to repair something, but she's becoming suspicious of his intentions. He brushes it off. But then her sister gets infected with this deadly plague, and her stepmother, Cinder's stepmother, blames her for her stepsister getting infected with the plague. And her stepsister is her only human friend. Like, she's her only friend, and she happens to be human. So it's going to affect her worse than it would Cinder. So her stepmother is so mad about this that she volunteers Cinder to be purposely injected with the plague to help, like, find a cure for it. And I'm pretty sure it says, like, the scientists find some interesting quirks about her. Yeah, it's an honor that no one else has survived, but it doesn't take long for scientists to discover something unusual about the new guinea pig, something others would kill for. So this sounds super interesting. Before this, I had never read past the New Beijing part, but I'm so glad that I did, and I just bought the book off Thrift Books because it sounds really good. 15 minutes. Panicking. Then I have on the stack A Whole New World, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. Usually the books kind of look cartoony, but there are other realistic versions of this. This is a spin-off of Aladdin, and I am so pumped for this. There's also a spin-off of Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast, and I am determined to get them after I read this. Basically it says, what if Aladdin had never found the lamp? Again, Aladdin is a street rat, Jasmine is a princess, but everything changes when the Sultan's advisor, Jafar, suddenly rises to power with the help of an ancient lamp. So Aladdin and the deposed Princess Jasmine must unite the people of Agrabah in a rebellion to stop the power-mad ruler. This isn't the story you already know. This is a story about power, about revolutionaries, about love, and about one moment changing everything. So, this sounds so good, and I can't wait to read it. I'm very excited for this book. So excited. And that is going to be Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. And can we just appreciate how thick this book is? I like big books. And I cannot lie. But yeah, so this actually, I'm not going to be reading the whole book because only like 270 pages of it are actually the Alice in Wonderland and the Looking Glass. So it ends at 250 pages. So right here is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. So I'll be reading this bunch. I probably won't read Sylvie and Bruno and the rest of his works, but I'm really excited for Alice in Wonderland, and that'll be really easy for me to read because it's only 250 pages. So I'm really excited for that. I can't wait. I've been in the Alice in Wonderlandy mood, like I've said with Splintered. I just can't wait. And then finally, the 11th book on my TBR for April is going to be Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I almost picked this up, but instead I picked up End of Oz and the second Vampire Diaries book. I picked a bunch of books that I might want to read for the last 4 days in March, and I picked End of Oz, which I already finished, and the second Vampire Diaries book, which I'm going to be finishing within the next 2 days. But, yeah, it's about two sisters named Scarlett, and we're gonna call her Tella. Her real name's Donatella. They've never left the island. Their father's super cruel. Scarlett's been arranged for marriage, and Scarlett thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, which is a faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlett receives a letter from the ringmaster of Caraval. With help of a mysterious sailor, both sisters go away to the show, only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Caraval's mastermind organizer, Legend. It turns out that the season's Caraval revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlett has been told everything that happened during Caraval is only an elaborate performance. Nevertheless, she becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic, and whether Caraval is real or not, she must find Tella before the 5 nights of the game are over, or a dangerous domino effect of consequences will be set off, and her beloved sister will disappear forever. And then it says, welcome to Caraval. Beware of getting swept too far away. So this sounds good. This book is 19 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm just going to try to wrap this up really quick. Oh my god. Yeah, so TBR for April. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And stay tuned for some, I'm probably going to make a time-lapse reading video to determine which books I will be reading first in April, and, you know, kind of like grading them. So, yes, thank you